Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
David sent me an interesting story, and it's from religionnews.com, but it's been widely reported elsewhere. But I saw their version of it. I like their version of it, so I'm going to go with this one. But a Pagan sues Panera Bread Company alleging religious discrimination. Religious discrimination. A former baker for the Panera chain said she was told she needed to find God, according to a court filing. Heather Green wrote this story. And the woman is from Pennsylvania. She filed a lawsuit recently against Panera Bread Company, alleging she was discriminated against and fired due to her religious beliefs. And she's from Clairton, Pennsylvania, hired as a baker at the Panera location in Pleasant Hills, which is not far from Pittsburgh, they tell me. And according to the filing, she never discussed her religion or religious beliefs at work. She felt the subject was private. And that's one of these interesting things, is that many people have got beliefs that they like to keep themselves. There's also people out there who've got beliefs that they want to share with others. And that's fine. But there are also people out there who want to, push their beliefs on others. And there's a fine line. So, if I'm sitting in my living room one day and someone comes up and knocks on my door, and I open the door and I don't know who they are, and they say, "Can I talk to you about," and they name a religion. I generally say no, thank you, and I close the door. But I've had people show up on my porch before and say very rude things to me. If you think about what they're actually saying to you, I don't know you, but I am here to try to help you because you're so screwed up that you don't know what you're doing. So the woman at the center of this story is a pagan. Now, that's an umbrella term used for a number of different growing religious and spiritual practices which center on things like nature or magic. According to the lawsuit, the subject of her religion came up in late May of 2020 when she was on a break with the store's assistant manager and the manager. The manager asked her what her religion was. So she answered, "I am pagan." The manager reportedly responded by telling her she was going to hell. And the assistant manager, this is a quote, vigorously nodded her head in agreement. The lawsuit then goes on to describe a series of other discriminatory actions. Among the complaints are that the woman's hours were cut, and when she asked why, she was told she needed to find God before returning to her previous schedule. She was reportedly docked pay for breaks that she did not take. She said that she then asked if she could be transferred to a different store, to which the district manager said, reportedly, "No, we're probably going to get rid of you anyway." So a call to Panera's corporate human resources went unanswered when the journalist sought an answer. But according to the lawsuit, the threats continued and turned violent at times, alleging that there was a hostile work environment that arose because of this. So in July, the woman said she was told to give notice that she's leaving her job. They told her, "We'd like you to resign." Now, her husband also worked at Panera, and both of them were fired, according to the suit. The lawsuit was filed in Pennsylvania federal court, says that the woman's civil rights were violated under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prevents discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. So many people know, although some people are shocked to find out, that in America, a lot of places you can be fired because your hire, the fact that you work there, is considered at will, meaning they can just fire you for no reason. A boss can walk in one day and just go, "You know something? You're fired." You don't have a contract. You don't have an employment agreement of any sort that supersedes that. Many jobs in America are simply at will. At will. They can fire you for any reason, except for the wrong reasons. So they can walk in one day and just go, "We've decided to fire 3 people. You, fired." But they cannot fire you based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Those are protected. And we understand why that is, and that makes sense. So they can fire you for any reason so long as it's not one of the wrong reasons. And I know that sounds like a weird way to say it, but it's better to phrase it that way to understand how broad the hiring and firing powers are of employers in America. And I've spoken to a lot of, especially young people, who go out in the workforce and they have a problem with a boss and they get fired. They go, isn't that illegal? Did you have a contract? No? Okay. I know a lot of guys who worked in radio, and gals. Radio is famous for people being fired for the craziest reasons. No reasons. Station changed formats. Everyone's fired. Program director had a bad day. Half the people are fired. So the woman who's filed the lawsuit declined an interview. And again, Panera did not respond to a request for comment. Now, the executive director of the Pagan civil rights organization, Lady Liberty League, and senior minister of the Circle Sanctuary, has reached out to both the company and the woman and said, Pagans are continuing the quest for full equality, liberty, and justice in the USA and other parts of the world. Although there have been a variety of Pagans' rights legal victories, unfortunately, anti-pagan prejudice, harassment, discrimination, and defamation still happen. Lady Liberty League, or LLL, was founded in 1985 when pagans were regularly confronted with similar situations at work and in their communities. It is essential to stand up to anti-pagan hate and attacks whenever and wherever they occurred. Most typically, Lady Liberty League fields complaints related to child custody, business, zoning, housing, and job discrimination. She added that there's been a noticeable uptick in discrimination over the past 4 years. The LLL team is in the early stages of looking into this case, she said. They are concerned for the woman and for the greater community. Discrimination against pagans not only harms the individuals directly impacted in the case, but pagan people and society as a whole. As of Friday, the organization had not spoken to the woman or gotten a response either from their attempts to contact Panera's corporate headquarters to talk about this case. LLL is chiefly interested in speaking with the company's diversity officers, said the spokesperson for LLL, who added that she understands an unwillingness for a company to discuss particulars of a lawsuit that is in process. And of course, that's going to be the case. She said, it is our hope to be able to have a direct dialogue with Panera Bread at the corporate level about the importance of stopping and preventing discrimination against pagan workers. We've had positive experiences with such conversations with other corporations and institutions we've contacted over the years. So the lawyer for the woman at the center of this case not only filed the lawsuit, but is seeking a trial by jury. And a jury trial is something that's commonly sought in cases like this and other lawsuits as well. So one of the things, we don't know what actually happened. This is all based on verbal statements that someone's, I guarantee, going to say, well, I heard her say this. Question is, will she admit she said it, or is she going to say, I never said that? What are you talking about? So we don't know what happened. We weren't there, okay? However, let's assume for a moment that it happened. Or even if it didn't happen, this is actually a great teaching moment. Let's suppose that you're a boss. You run a big company. You've got a bunch of different locations. They hire people. There's local managers who run the local locations. You're in charge of telling those managers how to behave. One of the things that you would tell them is don't discuss religion at work. Why would you? I think I'd tell them don't discuss politics, even though politics isn't on the list of protected things there. Because what good does it do to discuss that stuff at work? And I think all of us, well, I guess it depends on how many different workplaces you've been in. But I'm talking about going all the way back to when I worked at the gas station. I worked at radio stations. I've worked at retail outlets. I've had all kinds of jobs over my life. And I've worked places before where there's like one or two people who want to talk politics or want to talk religion or want to no, just shut up. We're at work. Can't we just work? And so the idea that a manager is going to ask a subordinate, what religion are you? That can't end well. That question shouldn't be asked. And if it got asked, that's the problem. The answer is not the problem. The question is the problem. So I think I would, if I was running a company, again, hypothetically, I was running a company, I would put it right in the manual for training the managers and say, by the way, we want to run an inclusive and pleasant work environment. So we're going to suggest to you that not only should you be aware of the fact that you can't discriminate based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, but you know something? Don't even talk about stuff at work that could be divisive. Don't talk religion. Don't talk politics. Don't talk about that stuff. If you guys are sitting around bored, find something to do. You're at work. I've been working someplace before. I had people who were subordinate to me. And I walk in and they're sitting there doing nothing. I go, what are you guys doing? Oh, there's nothing to do. No, there is something to do. You're just not thinking hard enough because you're getting paid by the hour. You need to be thinking, I got nothing to do? Find something to do. So I go, I got a list of things you can do right now. Do this, do this, do this. I read off a bunch of stuff they don't want to do. But guess what? It's their job. Do it. So if you've got time to sit around and discuss politics or religion on the job, you got too much time and you're not managing yourself very well. So, like I said, I think the problem here is that they asked, not that she answered. But you know something? I will admit, if I'm in a workplace and I want my job, I want to keep my job, and my boss says to me, Steve, what religion are you? I would say, I'd prefer not to discuss that, thank you. What are they going to do? Ask again? Press you on it? Threaten to fire you for not telling? I mean, I understand there's crazy bosses out there. I understand. But I think the first response should be, I don't feel like discussing it, thank you. It's not appropriate. And likewise, and again, I understand there's several different organizations to do this that go door to door, knocking on doors to tell them where they're going when they die. And haven't seen one in a couple years, but I can tell you about 2 years ago, I had a couple of them wind up on my porch. And I said some things to them, and they promised they'd never come back. And they haven't. So I think I'm on a list somewhere. But you know me. I'm genuinely a nice guy. I love talking to people. I answer questions. I respond to comments. I correspond with people. I'm a nice guy. But if a total stranger walks up to me where I live and wants to tell me things about how my life is wrong, that's not going to end pleasantly. Let's put it that way. So from religionnews.com, David sent it. Thanks a lot. Heather Green wrote it. A pagan is suing Panera Bread Company alleging religious discrimination. We'll see what happens. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner.